Well, joining me now is Major General Garba Wahab, who talks so much about what is happening at the moment. Take a listen to this conversation. Retired Major General Garba Wahab, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you very much, madam.
Well, let's take a look at the deadline issued by the president, to end insurgency by the year 2015. Many have argued that this is certainly not feasible.
Yeah.
Exactly in your perception, what do you think?
There are two issues involved. The first is being in complete control of Nigerian territory, occupied initially by Boko Haram. Yes, it is possible. It is achievable. But eradicating terrorism completely from Nigeria, that's a very tall order.
Let's understand the difference.
You see, you have four phases.
Yes.
In counter-terrorism or counter-insurgency, whichever way you want to look at it. The first is the issue of suicide bombing and all those issues. The second is when the insurgents have enough confidence about themselves, they go into the guerrilla mode. Yes, within the society, you don't know them, you don't know who is who, they hit and run and whatever. When they've achieved so much, they come out openly and engage military personnel. The fourth phase is when they're overdue or subdued. The next thing is they go back to phase one. That is, they leave the territory, they go back to the hit and run phase. And on the military side, that is the pursuit phase. You want to pursue them, you want to push them out completely. But a lot of issues are involved when you want to eradicate completely. What were the root causes? You have to look at the root causes initially. A lot of people had argued about what were those things that really caused what we are facing today. Secondly, let us remember that we're not talking about an isolated issue in Nigeria. You have ISIS operating in Syria and Iraq. You have the Al-Qaeda in the Islamic Maghreb that just attacked a very popular hotel in Mali some few days ago. You have the attack in France. A lot of things are involved. So, in as much as one of the groups or affiliates is successful in one area, the tendency is for you have copycat issue, somebody wanting or trying to do the same thing somewhere else. So
we're attempting to cut off the branches without dealing with the roots.
Yes, you can push them out completely, push them out of Nigeria, but then the sympathizers are still around. It's just like what the British government is really envisaging right now. It's not that you have maybe Al-Qaeda or ISIS elements operating openly in UK, but they believe there are sympathizers who are in UK, and you have to look seriously at those people. You have to monitor them. You have to ensure that they don't hit and run, and that's one of the things we have to look at after pushing Boko Haram out of the territory in Nigeria.
So is that assurance simply going to empower them or something in any way?
No, it doesn't really empower anybody. What you are trying to do is, in warfare, it is the loss of hope that wins war, not the loss of human beings. Yes, we might kill as many as possible. We have to ensure that they believe there is nothing for them to achieve in Nigeria again. They have to lose hope for them to completely move out. And a lot of things are to come in. And I keep on mentioning this issue. It is an integrated approach that can do the ultimate thing.
So your belief certainly is it's not feasible?
It depends on what the military guys are ready to do and the various state governments. It is one thing for the military to take back the territories, but are we actually in those areas that have been liberated right now? The local governments, the state governments, and the federal government have to have presence in those places. You have to be there to ensure that the average citizen there, average civilian there, believes in what you're doing. So if you don't do that, you have an ungovernable space. You have space for people to move into and operate and move back. And that's what we have to do, seriously. And thirdly, we have to find a way to get the Chadians to come in fully. They are not really committed right now. It's not surprising. to those who have been involved in multinational joint task force in the Northeast in the past. We have a situation where Nigeria, Niger, and Chad have been fully committed, but the Cameroonians did not join up, and we have a massive issue. Now the Cameroonians are involved this time around, the Nigerians are involved, but the Chadians are not. And for Nigeria, Chad had to be fully committed for the terrorists to be prevented from moving from Nigeria to Chad, from Chad back to Nigeria. There's a direct route from Maiduguri to N'Djamena. We have to block that completely. And for us to be able to do that, the Chadians will be committed.
You see, when you even say we have to block, so of course we understand that there are still porous parts, bordering Nigeria and other neighboring countries. And we're wondering, is it that we don't know the right approach, or do you perceive that the president's approach to solving the insecurity problem is not right?
The steps taken so far are right, but a lot of things have gone wrong in the past. We have to build on what is happening right now. We have to find a way in getting everybody to come to an agreement. And I'll give another example. For so long, the Americans, the British, the French were completely opposed to the government of Assad in Syria. But all of a sudden, because of what happened in France, everybody is virtually coming together and begging the Russians, let's work as a team and ensure we eliminate ISIS. Let's forget about whatever is happening in the past. You can call it a short-term international policy. It is your national interest that matters. So we have to look at our national interest. If somebody is not committed, you don't get annoyed. You have to find a way of ensuring that the country comes on board. They must have their reasons. And that is why those agencies, the federal agencies that are responsible for those things, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, National Intelligence Agency, those guys do their job and they feed the government appropriately and adequately. These are the reasons why the Chadians are not coming in. In the past, the Nigerian government was virtually paying the salary of some of the Nigerians and the Chadians that were committed in the MNJTF. Maybe that's part of the reasons. They might not have the wherewithal to keep on funding their personnel. We need to find out what is the problem, because without getting the Chadians to come in, yes, we can push the Boko Haram out for now, but we cannot solve the main issue because they still keep on coming back.
You said the issue of equipment and adequate weaponry to fight insurgency still comes to the fore. I spoke with some top officials in the Senate in the U.S., and they made me understand that even though the U.S. is ready to help Nigeria, and that brings some smiles to your face, but I want to know what is going through your mind, that support, the show of support from the U.S. government towards this insurgency fight. How much of it are you seeing at the moment?
To me, the issue is from our side. You have to do so much for somebody to want to come in. The Americans had one of two reasons why they cannot come in. Issue of corruption, issue of this, issue of that. All those issues will still be there. But we on our own, we must be ready, willing, able, and ready to take the bull by the horn and face the insurgency in Nigeria. It is when we've done so much that all other things will come in. Every other person wanting to come in to assist us will actually come in because they believe that, yes, these guys are ready and they can do it. If you cannot, too bad. So the Americans could say, oh, we're ready, we'll come in, we'll do this, we'll do that. But conditionalities will be there. And those conditionalities will always, one way or the other, have an effect on whatever we do. So it is better for us to look inwards and train our personnel, get whatever is required. Even if somebody brings the best of all equipment, it is the man who is managing the equipment that matters. It is the man. After all, there were claims that the Paris issue, one of those guys, the Absala or whatever his name, was seen driving in with some weaponry in his vehicle. And a policeman saw him and didn't do anything. He waved him on. It is the man that is behind the equipment. That the mindset must be correct, must be right. He must be motivated to the point where he believes that, yes, I have to do this. Not the way we're going about it.
How?
There is no commitment from the public. we have to get everybody involved. It is not a military against Boko Haram. It is not. It is a national issue. So everybody must be involved. All of a sudden, the British government is thinking of spending £180-something billion in equipping the military, although phased. In Nigeria, if you tell anybody, look, we are going to spend $2 billion US, somebody will shout, why do you need to do that for the military? What for? So
maybe because of the antecedents.
There is nowhere where there are no problems. It is what you want to do now. You don't, because of a problem of yesterday, fail to do something today. You don't, because you have maybe you have nasal or something is disturbing your nose, you cut off the nose completely. You cannot do that. You have to look at issues critically.
Right, hold on with your thought. We're still with the former Chief of Operations, Nigerian Army, retired Major General Garba Wahab. We'll be right back on the issue of insurgency. Please stay with us.
I don't think it is possible for us to have a deadline for fighting insurgency in Nigeria. It has not been done anywhere. It has not been successful anywhere. In Afghanistan, in Iraq, in anywhere in the world. So we don't need a deadline. But I think Mr. President was right to set aside a deadline for the army so that he will test their capability and encourage them more.